Yes, you have to behave now.
We had some pictures. She sent it.
He don't trust you.
No. Do you?
Look how many people you have on.
Wow, look at us, we got a big audience tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully Rose is monitoring the question thing. Because this, somewhere, I don't know where, if it's through this or what, people can type in questions.
No,
I wasn't aware of that until
thank you.
one day.
But she said, if you need her, I can speak on her behalf.
Okay,
Like, please go to her.
I don't think she needs to worry,
I don't think so.
no.
They got no personality.
I'm not voting.
Oh, then you get to be treasurer. Maybe.
Okay.
Carry on. We haven't even started yet.
Now that she's here.
Now we can
Now we
start.
All we have to do is look at who's coming in.
Hello.
Are we waiting for somebody? Cause it's after 5.
She's here.
Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect.
I don't know if others are going to show up. I'm thinking maybe not. So we'll get started. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jim Pittman. I'm town moderator here in Effingham. I'd like to kick this off by asking Christina to please lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chris. All right, well, here we are. Once again, candidates night 2026, of course, these are for town elections. We will have 2 more elections this year, but those will be for the statewide elections. So this is, of course, the most fun of all of them. Currently, we have a number
So
of,
sorry, is the camera going? Yes, okay.
currently we have a few blank offices. I will touch on those in a minute. But I also want to mention that on this year's ballot, there will be 6 warrant articles dealing with our land ordinance. I won't go into any detail about it here, but you certainly can get information from the selectmen or maybe Mr. Edwards over here wants to.
no, don't have them.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, you can go to the website, the town website has them there. There's a lot of little language. But I'll just say mostly, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's to change language to make it conforming to the state RSAs. And that's really it. So it's mostly all housekeeping stuff. I don't think there's anything controversial there. But you can decide that and you'll vote on that at the polls. One thing you'll see that's gonna be a little different at the polls this year is that the town has invested in a ballot counting machine. So, rather than what we've done forever and ever of always putting our ballots into the 1892 ballot box or whatever it is, this will be electronic, it'll be scanned in. Now, the reason we're doing this is because elections can be very exhausting for the people who work them. Often, we're there till 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, counting ballots, all that sort of thing, and we're finding it harder and harder to get people to volunteer and come work at the polls. And part of the reason that some folks have said that they stopped doing it is they just don't want to put in all that much time. Now, on the other side of the coin is we're all getting old, yeah. Oh, wait, we're already old, sorry. But the other part of it is really they should be more accurate than counting by hand, especially last 2024's election. We had the largest turnout of voters ever, as far as I know, in the history of Effingham, over 1,000. I'm thinking it was it 1,200?
1223, I believe, or 1218.
1223. By comparison, for a town election, we feel lucky if 300 people come out to vote. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that's good, but that's the reality of how people respond to elections. But we get those big voter turnouts, I'll tell you, people are pretty blurry-eyed by the time they go home at the end of the night. So you'll see that's a little different. It should also make things go a little faster. And concurrently, we will, as we always do with town elections, we'll be voting on the school ballots too. And those go into a separate box that the chief takes over to Wolfboro, and that's pretty straightforward. They always have a bunch of warrant articles too, but by now, if you've voted more than a few times, you'll probably see a lot of pretty familiar language, voting for the budget and all that. Just to state for anyone who maybe has not heard, the election will be at the school, and it will be on March 10th, and polls open at 11. It's a town election, so we don't open at 8, we open at 11, so we'll still run till 7, polls will close at 7. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Okay, great. Okay, well, I thank our various candidates that are here tonight, for a lot of reasons. Folks may not have been able to attend, but we have a great looking bunch out here, don't you agree? And what I'm gonna do this evening, my procedure is, I'm gonna kinda jump around different offices, and I'm gonna save the selectmen candidates for last, because that's always the most exciting. And, excuse me, what else do I wanna say about that? It's pretty much an open forum, so what I'm gonna ask people to do is introduce themselves, give a little history of their time in Effingham, and to tell us other important items that makes them qualified for the office that they're running for. And then when there's only a few offices here where we have multiple candidates, in a lot of cases there's only one running for the office, but when either the single candidate or the multiple candidates are done with their introduction, we'll open it to the floor for people to ask questions of them. Okay, that sound good? Okay then. Well, let's get things going with the budget committee, because the candidate, the sole candidate for budget committee is Eric Hood. And he's conveniently located at the center of the table over here, so Eric, how about we introduce yourself and tell us why you're gonna be the best candidate for this office.
Well, my name's Eric Hood. I've lived in Effingham for the past 25 years this month. I moved up. Seen a lot of different things in town, how everything's run. I'd like to see if I could make a difference with spending the money, and I know the taxes are bad right now. The school has a lot to do with it. I don't know, I just wanna see if I can make a difference and go from there.
I was gonna open it up, but I have a question, because you mentioned school taxes, which, you know, is big deal. But in general, in the budget, you come in with any ideas now that you think might be able to improve things?
I'm not sure yet till I look at every single little thing. There's probably always a spot where you can cut back here and there, and but nothing in particular yet.
Okay, very good, thank you. So I'll open up to the audience. Anybody have some questions or observations to put to Eric?
Thanks for running.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, very good, well, thank you, sir. Thanks for putting your name out there. Okay, well, let's not move too far away, let's go to Andrea, we'll make this a tag team over here, and Andrea, as I think most people know, is currently our town clerk and tax collector, and she is running for re-election unopposed, but same deal. Andrea, tell us a little bit about you know, your history, and if you have some ideas about the clerk's position going forward.
Sure. Hi, everyone. so I think I recognize everyone here, but, I'm on the ballot for town clerk, tax collector. I've been in the clerk's office for a little over 2 years. I started in January of 2024, as deputy. And then in February of 2025, I was appointed as town clerk, tax collector. I absolutely love what I do. I love my office. It's been challenging. I've had to learn a lot. There's a lot to it. But I would like to think that I've learned a lot and I've grown a lot. And I really enjoy what I do. One of the things that I've tried to improve upon since being in that office is opening up to be available more hours for the residents. A lot of people had expressed concerns about, we're not open, they have to work, what about the people that work? So I did the Tuesday evenings, so every Tuesday we're open until 6. And then that seemed to help. I got positive comments on that. And I've had quite a few residents that have expressed that their only day off is on Friday. I wish you were open on Friday. So I now am open on the first Friday of every month to accommodate those people. So that's my goal, is to listen to people, to be there for the people. And I also have tried to make it a more welcoming environment for people to come in, and I want them to enjoy their time here. And so that's what I've strived to do, and I just hope to, continue listening to the people and giving you what you want, as long as it's within my reason and budget. So, I ask for your vote, and I would be honored to keep being the town clerk tax collector.
All right, great, thank you. Questions, observation, comments from the audience?
Thank you for running.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to say that Andrea and Deanna, back here as assistant clerk currently, and myself put a lot of time and energy for every election that comes up. And if you haven't worked an election, you're probably not aware of how much goes on behind the scenes preparing for it. And we also enlist the selectmen to move voting equipment and stuff back and forth to the school. So there's a lot that goes on, but I specifically want to recognize Andrea and Deanna, currently the clerks, to make sure they do a lot of work getting ready for the elections, so thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, I'm gonna slide down the table to Cheryl, who is running for supervisor of the checklist. That's a 5-year position. And Cheryl, same intro questions if you would.
I'm Cheryl Fyrick. I live on Effingwood Farms Road. I will in April be here for 28 years. And as a supervisor, I ran 13 years ago, and I did 2 6-year stints, which 6 years is the time that you serve, and it's a good thing because there's a lot to learn. I mean, and as you all know, our number of elections changes every year. There's a different number. And so by the time you get to that 6th year, it's like, whew, now I don't want to do this again. I did it again, and then I said, I'm gonna take a year or 2 off, and someone stepped aside, so I was appointed last year. So finishing this out will be my 13th year, but then there's 5 more to go. I like working with everybody in town that has volunteered for elections. Anybody that has run. I'm excited about the voting machine because I'm also one of those that was here till all hours of the night. And then had to come to our office back there and bring all our items back, but thankfully we have Steve Regal, so he's been doing it for the last couple of years. And I look forward to running again.
Great, Okay, thank you, Cheryl. I didn't mention that Cheryl's running unopposed. And she also, as she's alluded to, has a big role to play during elections, but also all year long, because supervisors of the checklist work with people who are registering to vote and also maintaining the rolls right through the election. And there's just a lot of paperwork involved, isn't there?
And the school board,
Yes,
because we are required to be at the deliberations
right, that's,
for their budget, so we
Yep.
have to be there and.
Yep.
You know, it's a commitment that you make when you say 6 years.
and there've been a number of changes to the voting laws this year,
Yes,
which will
a lot
affect you
of
in terms of
changes.
registering new voters. So they always have to keep up on those changes, and for some reason, our legislature gets very excited as town elections approach, and they'll make changes at the last minute, and we have to kind of stay on top of that. And related to that, I'll take the opportunity to mention to everybody that Secretary of State, David Scanlon, will be coming to Effingham in April. He'll be at the library on April 22nd at 10 a.m. And he'll talk about changes in the voting laws and anything else you might want to ask him. So this is your chance to get up close and personal. David's pretty, I find pretty good guy with my interactions with him. So if you have a question, this would be the place to ask it. So mark your calendar, April 22nd. 10 a.m., the library.
There's usually cookies too.
And there's usually snacks, yes. Snacks? All right, great. Jim, I'm gonna ask you to come up to the table for a minute, if you will, because we're gonna talk about budget committee candidates, which we do have 2. And for budget committee, you can vote for up to 2. So these folks are not necessarily running against each other, and I will express my thanks that both of you put your names in on the ballot. And Jim, if I can ask you to go first and give us the lowdown on who you are and how you're thinking.
Yeah, my name is Jim Jagir, and you gotta forgive me, I've got a nasty case of laryngitis going on. Some people would say that's a good thing. Compared to the people who've gone before me, I'm a relatively newcomer to Effingham, moving to town in 2014. I'm not new to the budget committee, I have served a term on the budget committee, and this year when they had a resignation, I stepped up to fill the position. Yeah, taxes are a big issue in Effingham. And I think the current board has done a great job trying to balance the needs versus the wants.
Good? Okay, so I'm gonna ask the gentleman to your left, Craig Bona, is that correct? Am I
Yeah.
pronouncing your name? Same questions for you.
Yeah, I'm Craig Bona, I live on Old Pound Road. I lived here years ago, I moved back to Effingham in 2023. I have 3 young kids in Effingham, and we love living in this town, and I know that not a lot of people signed up for many positions here in Effingham, so I decided that I would. I was a business owner for a long time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more about the town, being on the budget committee, and any way I can help, I want to.
Very good. Okay, well, I'm sure everybody's appreciative for anybody who wants to sign up for budget committee, cause there's a lot of work and, you know, money always seems to be on everybody's, priority list. I'll open it up to the floor, any questions or comments to these gentlemen, either one?
Yeah, the one thing I didn't say is my soul is owned by my 8-year-old overlord.
Oh. Alright, sounds like your priorities are right. Okay, well, having no other questions then, again, I'll express thanks on behalf of the community of Effingham that you folks are willing to do this. And by the way, you know, these guys, there's 2 guys running for 2 seats. Now, every office that's on the ballot is also subject to write-ins. Now, I'm not saying anybody should write in over these guys, but for any position, if they say, I wish I had put my name in for that, you still can. So, I think you're safe. Alright. Really running down the list here. Okay, let me just, I'm gonna go through and very quickly talk about some folks that are not here that are running. For trustee of the trust funds, which is a one-year term, Elaine Chick, that's her name on the ballot this year. And that's for the one-year trustee position, I'm sorry. There's also a trustee of trust funds three-year position, and Karen Payne has put her name forward, and is, unopposed. For library trustee, we're voting for up to two for 3 years, and we are fortunate to have two candidates who put their name there. Harriet Greystone, I think a lot of people know Harriet, particularly from the library, and Jennifer Van Core. Also, these are folks that have a history here in town. Planning board, there are 2 seats up, 2 3-year seats up. And there's a big blank here, nobody running for those seats. Remember I said something about write-ins? Boy, I would really like to do that. There's a line, you can put your name in there on election day. I'll note that moderator, hey, that's me. It's 2-year term, I'm not running for reelection, and nobody else seems to have put their name forward, so same thing. If you wanted a job in stand-up, here you go. ZBA, Zoning Board of Adjustment, Aaron Lavoy has put his name forward for a 3-year term. There will be another seat available too, so there's a blank there. So this brings us to our featured event for the evening, which is our candidates for selectmen. And this is a 3-year term. There's 1 seat and we have 2 candidates. So thank you both for being there. And because Chris has got this seniority thing going on, I'm gonna ask you to kick it off. You can introduce yourself and do all the things you've seen the other officers do.
Okay, my name's Chris Siemens. I pretty much think everybody in town knows who I am. I moved to Effingham in 1973 from Huggins Hospital, where I was born. I was raised on Plantation Road, between Plantation Road and 36 Townhouse Road by grandparents, in the shadow of the library town hall. I first served as a selectman, was elected in 1995 to a 2-year term. At that time, there were no selectmen, they had all resigned, so we had staggering offices then. It was a 1-year seat, a 2-year seat, and a 3-year seat. I was successful in my bid for the 2-year seat and ran for re-election and was successful in that, so I served 5 years in the 90s. In 2009, my wife and I did briefly move to the town of Ospey for 3 years, and made our way back to my family land that's been in my family since the late 1800s. My step-grandfather, but he was the only grandfather I knew, so he was my grandfather. I was successful in my bid for re-election in 2023 to get back involved. Stepped away for many years and felt at that time that things weren't necessarily going in the direction that I had hoped for or agreed with. So thought I could make a difference. Since then, I think I have. I like the direction that we are going in. I think we have an excellent board who work very well together. We do not always agree, and I think that that is important, that in any office like that you don't always agree. But at the end of the day, we get the job done. There are a lot of projects that I would still like to see completed. Road projects in particular, the future of possibly infrastructure in the town moving forward. I look forward to continuing to work with all of the staff that work for the town. I think that we have a culture that is extremely friendly, extremely inviting, and we all get along and work very well together. And I would like to continue that. Not saying that if I left, that wouldn't continue, because those great people are still gonna be in place, but there's a lot I'd still like to see done moving forward. And, I look forward to, I would appreciate your support in my bid for reelection.
Good, thank you, Chris. The other candidate for selectman is Jeremy L. Wow, and Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Oh, I'm Jeremy Elwell, I'm 36 years old, I've been here in town for over the last 16 years. The biggest thing that we keep hearing over and over that I, throughout going around town talking to everybody the last few weeks, these taxes. We've got to do something about these taxes, the words we can't, that's not acceptable to the people around here anymore, it's truly not, I mean, we have to, there's no other way to put it. How we're gonna get there, I couldn't tell you for sure, but what I can tell you is, in the past week and a half, I filled this bag with information. And we're gonna dig through all of it, every bit of it, even what's not in that bag. Some other, people have pointed out that the selectmen have file cabinets here and file cabinets at home, and evidently that's the way it's gonna have to go. I really wanna change things here, people are getting priced out, it's just not acceptable. And that's why I'm here, with the exception of the fact that nobody signs up and nobody participates in this stuff throughout town. Every year, if it says there's one candidate, so pick one, there's one name, if it says pick two, there's two names. Look around this room, I'm the youngest one in this room, I think. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Sometimes I am wrong. But it's time for people to get involved, it's time for people to get up here, I mean, we're the ones that are gonna be dealing with this for the next 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is, and you gotta do it, whether you want or not.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Okay, open the floor up to questions, folks. Certainly the selectmen are at the eye of the hurricane here that we call Effingham.
I guess I'll throw out to both. So my name's Chris Kanka. I guess my question more to Jeremy and secondarily to Chris is, so I understand the frustration with the taxes, but what exactly are people saying and like what's your rebuttal? Just saying taxes are too high, that's nice, everybody agrees with that, but there's certain economic realities, like the school budget dominates our taxes, we're a little tiny town, so our cost per student is sky high. Nothing we're gonna do here in the town is gonna change that part of it. So that just leaves cutting the other half, that's the town budget. I'm just curious what your ideas were, what you're gonna axe to make taxes go down. Because property value's out of the control of everybody in this room. It's whatever people are willing to pay to move here.
Question now, so basically at the end of the day, property values, yes, they're out of control, but there's things, I mean, I've heard over and over. It's only 50,000, it's only 5,000, it's only $1,000, there's a lot that we can do.
But
The words can't.
Specifics.
I'd have to be able to have one of those cabinets right there to give you the specifics.
Okay, cause to just say.
They have
I'm not
the
picking on you,
information.
I'm just saying everybody would agree with you that everybody thinks they pay too much in taxes.
Right.
So what are you gonna cut?
What is anybody else doing to try and make any effort to do anything the right way and watch out for anybody here? What is going on every day? I mean, we can, if I had all the information, I could sit right here with you and point out everything, everything. But I will tell you right now, I'd be lying to you if I was doing that without all the proper information.
Right.
This is what I have so far, this is what I've collected in about a month and a half. That's what I can tell you.
Same thing, you,
Chris, you have, observation?
Sure, I think that, we do our best to be fiscally responsible. One thing that, I'm not gonna say everybody seems to forget, but one thing that gets overlooked quite often is I pay taxes too, so does he. So I'm looking out for my bank account just as well as everybody else's, right? So, we have cut, to say that we haven't, and I hear those phrases too, it's only 50,000. And I'm the first one, my fellow selectmen, budget committee members that are here, have heard me say only 50,000. 50,000 is a lot of money. So I agree with that. I will say that, the town has come to a point, it's 2026. I often get on my soapbox about how it's 2026, it's 2025, it's 2024. It's not 1905 anymore. Public safety, the taxpayers in this community have come accustomed to services that we provide. be it through fire, EMS, police, transfer station, things that are town, not the school. Look, I'll save that for later. But we have to provide the services to you folks. That comes with a cost. Anybody that goes and buys a dozen eggs, jug of milk, anything, everything is going up. We do try to be fiscally responsible. We do have, because I do have this knowledge being here, being in the seat currently. Take, for example, there was some increases because of insurance for our full-time employees, our employees that are covered. So the selectmen have proposed that we'll be voting on at town meeting to take $50,000 from the unreserved fund balance, our savings account, if you will, to put towards that budget, which is Article 13 now, I think, the operating budget, maybe higher up now, to help offset some of that expense. Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation about the revaluation and how that impacted everybody. When DRA came in and we knew the revaluation, first of all, the reval it's something that's mandated by the state of New Hampshire every 5 years. That is no control of the Board of Selectmen. The assessments that were done on everybody's property, there's no control over the Board of Selectmen. It's absolutely out of our hands. It's based on the market. And without going down a whole rabbit hole, one example I'll give, and this is an assessment that I found out about just this week. In 2019, there was a piece of property in Effingham that was assessed for $163,000. The people that bought that, and I'm glad to have them in town, they paid $350,000 for that house. When this town reval just went through, that house is now assessed at $360,000, just $10,000 more than what they paid for it in 2019. The town of Effingham had it assessed at, like I said, 163. So I had a conversation with an individual because it's our fault, right? It's the Board of Selectmen's fault that this happened. And it's not, it's out of our control, but I posed the question to them, not to sound flip, and I really didn't mean to sound disrespectful, but it's assessed at 360 now, so you paid 350 for it then, so it's gotta be pretty close to, you thought it was of that value in 2019, when the town had it assessed at 163. So, I mean, there's something to be said, and you can look across the board if you did the research, and one of the great things that we accomplished is Access GIS, which is our mapping software that's online, that is extremely user-friendly. The information that is there it far surpasses what we had before. So you can go on there and you can look at the history, the last time that house was bought, and it'll show you what the people paid for it and compared to the assessment. But we are fiscally responsible. We've cut budgets. We have not expanded budgets. Everything is getting more expensive. We do have road projects. Again, like I said earlier, I'd like to see the finish line in some of these projects. Pine River Road is the main one right now. I'm hoping that the voters will support the warrant articles to finish that this year. And from there, the roads get shorter. The responsibility is still there. We still have to take care of the roads, but that's a long road. It's 2.2 miles. So the roads that need to be done now are considerably shorter. So we'll look at that impact being less. So that's a major thing right there. It's been for at least 10 years, $250,000 through taxation that's figured in our tax rate goes towards road reconstruction projects. And then whatever it is above that, for that project that year, we take from fund balance. So not to go above that. I'm not saying that the 250 should be decreased, but we can certainly decrease the 270 that we put towards these shorter roads and use that to offset some other warrant articles that will lessen the burden of a tax impact. So there are a lot of things, but we are fiscally responsible. When I first took office, our legal budget was $70,000. It's down to 30. And that is more than sufficient, or is sufficient. As long as I keep my mouth closed and I don't get some hot water, right? So, but we are, as fiscally responsible as we can, we look at every penny. It does matter. The voting machine, the ballot counting machine, sorry, not voting machine, don't wanna muddy the waters. The warrant article that, or ETF, that was proposed for that many, many years ago to raise money, it was always the mindset that we needed 2 of those. And we, the board, looked in Jim in the town clerk's office, we looked around to the other towns and they only had 1, so it's like, we don't really need to buy 2. So we bought 1 and, we'll continue to save money to go towards its replacement. But, you know, there are plenty of ways that I could talk all night long about how we save when we can.
Hey, thank you, Chris. Other questions?
Come on, please. As you can tell, I like to talk.
By the way, I'll just opine that as a member of the Governor Wentworth Regional School Board for 6 years and as a member of the Finance Committee during that time, yes, the school budget impact on towns like ours is enormous, but it's not, in my opinion, based on my experience, because those budgets are bloated, but it's because the state continues to fail adequate funding, and they've lost 2 cases to the state Supreme Court where they say you have to fix this, and Concord's answer is, so what? And there's the problem. Unfortunately, selectmen don't have a lot of influence on over what's going on in Concord. But we wanna keep making noise about it, cause that's gotta get fixed.
Can I add to that just a little bit?
Absolutely.
So one of the things that the current Board of Selectmen has done is we tried to get, on a regular basis, scheduled our representation for the school board here to kind of give updates. Very recently, at our last selectmen's meeting, the chairman of the school board came in to talk about the budget. So we fired questions at, Brody Deshays. We fired questions at him about the, budget coming up. Now, he handed us a nice handout, which is part of the school board's, the school district's, their town meeting, deliberative session, thank you. But in that, the impact for the town of Effingham is approximated at, 73 cents increase.
Is it? Okay, I don't know.
So, having said that, if the Governor Wentworth School District as a whole does not support the operating budget that they've proposed, it goes to the default budget. Now, the default budget will be more than the budget that they're proposing. The school board itself and the finance committee, they did their due diligence to try to be as fiscally responsible as they could and come forward and propose a budget that was less. So last year it failed. They had to work on their previous year's budget, and that's more than what they're proposing this year. And I'm not saying how it should sway your votes, but if it fails and they go to the default budget, it'll actually be more. So that approximate 73 cents impact for the town of Effingham will be higher than the 73 cents. And last, I would like to say that if you watch the news, publications, not rumor or anything like that, it's proposed to be north of $100 million to fund the voucher system that started out just 4 or 5 years ago at $12 million. And that's money that normally would have gone from the state of New Hampshire to local education to help offset what our cost is. And our current tuition is $18,000 and change per student. Just 3 years ago, it was north of $25,000 per student, so.
Thank you. And as soon as you opened that door for me, education freedom accounts are probably New Hampshire's greatest tax giveaway to rich people. Because fully 85% of the recipients are folks who never sent their kids to public schools, and they're in private schools, and they can well afford it. And all of us are paying to give that gift to them, and as Chris said, to the tune of $100 billion a year and climbing. So on that end of the spectrum, this is something that needs to be.
Well, Jim, if I may.
Yeah.
It sounds like this school paying for the schools in the district budget and the state's responsibility, that could be a whole meeting in itself.
It
And
could,
there's
yes.
currently two people that are speaking out against giving other students money that's not for public schools. So it's a little bit one-sided, but didn't come here to discuss the
Okay,
school.
fair enough. And nor do I wanna take advantage of the bully pulpit to overreach. But I think again, because the issue of taxes is very much in everybody's mind, I would ask people to do some research, find out where's the money going and how is the money not coming to us. There's a lot that you can research online, except don't go to Facebook.
Delete that.
And I didn't give you an opportunity to follow up with what Chris was saying, do you have more to?
I think Chris is pretty well spot on the school part on that end of it. I mean, it's at a state level. Do I think that being a selectman, there's nothing you can do? No, I don't think that's an acceptable answer.
Okay, good. Any other questions for these gentlemen? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is the right place for this, but I'm curious about the current status of the emergency building of police and fire that was on the ballot last year, and then, so I know there's been some conversation, and I haven't been to the select board's meeting to find out, but maybe you could touch on the status now, and we could find out from each of you how you feel about that.
Well, you know what, let me have Jeremy go first in case you have some input on that.
Yeah, I do.
Ideas. And there's the big briefcase.
Yep.
How are you getting your exercise these days?
Oh, this is nothing.
Jim, can I say something? About the building committee, it's not a select board meeting, it's a building committee meeting.
Yeah.
With representatives from the town, with the select board involved and everybody else, but it's not a select board.
Right, I just meant that I haven't been
I understand.
following it.
Is it a subcommittee of the select board?
No, it's a committee,
Or who created it? The select board.
you wanna use terminology, okay.
Oh, yeah, this is, words mean something.
Alright, the last meeting, Chris actually brought forward the Lester building that they've been looking at, I have the paper here if you wanna check it out. This is what I know for information on the apparatus building, I guess we're calling it, not fire department.
If, do you want me, no, I know,
Yeah, no, go
I
ahead.
did, so that was just one, option and that I got quotes for. That was simply it, that wasn't a, confirmed, cause we still have,
My way here.
conversations about, engineering. I don't know, I feel like I'm kinda starting in the middle of of it, but, we still have to have professionals come on and talk about sprinkler systems, the feasibility of any potential building here addition, which anybody knows, the modulars out back, houses our police department, it houses our land use boards, it houses the trustees of the trust funds, supervises the checklist, it's 34, 35 years old now, I believe.
Probably.
And it's not our decision, it's you folks' decision. All we do is the homework and the legwork. We felt like the legwork we didn't walk far enough at the previous town meeting, so it got scrapped. We weren't making gains enough this year to comfortably say that we're putting forward a good plan. We're trying to make it as small as possible, to present to the voters, so it's not gonna happen at this town meeting. So we are diligently working on plans for, 2027 that the voters will be voting on at that time. But that is, one example of an option, that was it, as a selectman and coming to the building committee meetings. There's discussion about having an apparatus structure at the current fire station number 2. So that was just one price that I got, a rough price for an option, that was it, which is $146,000 and change.
Nope. Would you like to look at this?
No, I'm just wondering too, are there, I think there's sometimes our meetings that the public can come to or public update.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube
All-
when those meetings happen. Okay.
All of the information that I've gathered so far has come from public meetings. Everybody can come.
Alright, and that'll be on the town website.
Right.
The schedule.
To the question of whether this is a relevant conversation, we wanna basically get some input from the candidates and see how they're thinking, particularly about a project that for our town is pretty significant when you're talking about spending $1 million or something in that area, so that's my point for pursuing this.
But the minutia isn't.
Well, the moderator will allow it. Sir,
So was that kind of like part of a question, how, do we support that sort of thing? Cause obviously I've been through the process, I'm in the process, that's kind of, Jeremy is done his homework and he's gathered his information, but he's not on he hasn't been on the committee, so I'm not gonna say it's unfair, but I would like to, I can ask a question, right?
I think so, as long as he doesn't object.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of like, do you support moving forward with the conversation about the structure or
I mean,
structures or?
I would think that it's something that everybody, it's something that sooner or later is gonna have to happen. How we're gonna get there is another story. And, the way to go about it and when, and the way to fund it, I think that's all, something that needs to be discussed.
Okay, that's good, well, that's a better framing of the question is, would you potentially be in support of it? And that's good to hear you saying yes, and Chris, I assume maybe you have the same?
Yeah, I mean, we have to count our beans, right? So, when you start talking about price tags that high with the assessments that went up and everybody's taxes, and again, like I already said, you buy anything in the grocery store or whatever, it's expensive. Nothing's getting cheaper, but that being said, nothing's getting cheaper. So that structure right there, next year could be pushing $200,000. It's just getting more and more expensive and we're aging out of our current situation. So, we don't need to be reactive anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I ran in 2023 is to not be reactive and to try to start as cost saving as you can, try to be proactive and not reactive. And we, for a long time, we were kind of reactive and the town has to grow as our population has these numbers that you see on the board here. It's our population. Approximate. And I say approximate because the census is only as good as people that answer the door, right? So, we're growing. And as long as and we don't have any commercial. So as long as all the towns around us have commercial,
Got a gas station.
we do again, yeah. But as long as the rest of the towns around us continue to grow the commercial businesses, we're going to continue to be a bedroom community. Just this month, I, as the health officer, have, signed off on 5 new structure building permits this month. So that probably doesn't sound a lot, in a lot of communities, it's not a lot, but in Effingham it is. So, we are growing and we have to grow with it. And that is the unfortunate realization. Again, it comes to the services that we need to provide to all of you folks and anybody that's coming here, so.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions for these gentlemen, observations? Okay, we're coming close to having been here for an hour. And I think to close it out, what I'm gonna ask is if people wanna just have some final words. And in this case, I'm just gonna do it by seat. I'm gonna start with you, Jim, and we'll go this way around the table. If you have any final comments you wanna add, maybe while you've been sitting here listening to these discussions, you got some genius thought that's bubbled up and you wanna share it with us.
It's clear that one of the biggest issues in town is the taxes. And unfortunately, the biggest part of our taxes is the part we have no control over, which is the school budget. As we said earlier, the budget committee this year has tried very, very hard to keep any potential increases down. And town is growing, the town needs things, but we have to be frugal about it.
Okay, very good, thank you. Craig, got some
Yeah.
words?
I'd have to agree with what he said. I'd like to raise my kids in Effingham, but things need to be affordable to do so. And I'd like my kids to be able to possibly live in Effingham too when they get older. Cause you can't have a town if you don't have young people growing up in it either. And he's the youngest one here, so. So, yeah, I hope that I can help in any way and we have to be frugal, that's for sure.
Thank you, Craig. Oh, we're back to you again.
Oh, yeah, I already said I like to talk, right, so I'll make it brief. So the, our portion, the town's portion of our taxes that you pay is roughly 35% of your tax bill is us. Having said that, we still have to do our diligence to keep things down, still grow. I look forward to another 3 years, at least, I don't know. I will remain, the question was posed to me at a budget meeting, if I would continue as the health officer if I didn't win this election, and yes, the answer is I will. Speaking of savings, this isn't, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's my tax dollars too. So that budget is $4 for the health officer. I am not being compensated for that position. It doesn't have a tremendous workload, and knock on wood, hopefully we don't have some sort of pandemic, but if we did, that's when health officers would be at its busiest. But I will still continue to do that, but I pay taxes too, but I look forward to your support and I look forward to work with you and seeing you all again.
Great, thank you. Andrea, what do you have to say?
I just wanna reiterate that I love my job. So yeah, I'm kinda dumbfounded that it is an elected position, but it is, so here I am, and, you know, like I said, I'm open to comments, suggestions, I wanna be here and be accessible for all of you, and, I don't know if this is the appropriate platform, but with the election coming up and our dwindling volunteers, and I know I'm looking at faces that are always faithful, and have, volunteered even the time that I've been here, but, still always looking for people that want to, even if you can do chunks of time, we're always grateful for any help that we can get with, you know, counting or ballot clerk, checking out, there's lots of opportunities of people. And we feed you. Thank you.
That's a closing statement right there.
Yeah.
Eric,
You had me with food.
Yeah, me too. I agree with the candidates for the budget committee also that everything needs to be looked at from different angles, and my sons were both born and raised in Effingham, they're no longer up this way. And it's a great little town for them to grow up in, kids to grow up in, and I agree with you with that. I'd like to see other kids around now grow up like they did, and it's just a great little town.
good words. Jeremy,
Well, I kinda go right back to what they said with the budget committee, and except the biggest thing is, I mean, this is a small town full of people. We're not rich people, we're hardworking people. At the end of the day, we've gotta be more frugal with the money, we really do. There's no other way to put it. You wouldn't spend your own money in that manner. We cannot spend everybody else's money in that manner. It's just the way it is. I guess the only other real thing I have is I want more people to start coming down here and getting involved. I've talked to a lot of people. Everybody feels the same way. Don't be scared to do it, just do it. If nothing else, at least come down and vote. I mean, everybody says 200 to 300 people come for the town elections. I'd really like to see 500 people show up, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to work with people, and I'm here so we can get to the bottom of this.
very good, thank you. Cheryl, you get the last word.
Yeah. They stole my vote and vote. As a reminder, we do have a supervisor session this Saturday in the modular from 11 to 11:30. If you know of anybody that is not registered to vote, and you encourage them to come, they should come to that session. But we don't wanna discourage them, they could register to vote at the election as well. But if you have any changes that need to be made, party changes, this is the time to do it, because after that, unless you're registering for the first time. And come prepared if you're registering, with a photo ID. These are some of the changes that the state made. Photo ID, birth certificate is very handy. Original, and if you have a passport, that is nice to bring, and a utility bill that might be in your name. One of the changes that they were enforcing is women who have gotten married or divorced and went to a different name, well, when they come to us, they have to prove that to us.
So does that mean you might need to bring your divorce certificate or your marriage certificate?
Yes, your marriage certificate, yes,
If you
definitely.
know where that is.
Yes,
If I go to Vital Records, they will
Yes.
send it to you.
they will.
Yeah,
Get
you can
that,
even
so
get it from
plan
our
ahead.
window, what happened in
If
New
it
Hampshire.
happens, yeah.
So you don't
Very
want
good.
to
Case
lose
Ross,
that.
Thank you for sharing that, and just to tag on to that, you may have been used to in the past that people can show up and fill out an affidavit
Right.
valid application. And then later on, it could be verified,
Right.
but it would allow you to vote that day. Can't do that anymore, that has gone away, so unfortunate in my opinion, but it is what it is. And so there we have it. So voting day, yes, March 10th, Tuesday, 11 to 7. But even though we want everybody to come out and vote, we really would like you to come out to town meeting, which is on the following Saturday, the 14th of March, at the school at 9 a.m. If nothing else, it's great to be able to catch up with your neighbors and see
food
people
there,
there.
too.
There's food, there's usually all kinds of great things. And at town meeting, your voice can be heard, you can come up to a microphone, you can voice your opinion, you can share your wisdom. It really is the place where democracy in our town is grounded, and you get to actually participate. You don't have to be elected, your only price of admission is that you're a resident of Effingham. So come on out, I'm working on some new jokes, we'll see. We'll see if it works. I don't know, but thank you all for being here, thank you for these candidates.
Keep in mind,
Thank you.
ultimately, the budget committee and the select board only make the recommendations. You guys make the decision at town meeting.
That's correct, yes, yes, the young lady here.
I just wanna add to that about town meeting. We look around the room, like, these are the people that are showing up. So, for lots of things, tell your neighbors, tell the people in your community, your network, bring people. That's how you get, encourage people to come to town meeting. And so that's something we can all do by getting the word out.
That's correct, yes, you have an opportunity to amplify that message to people around you, friends, and maybe even some that are not really so friendly. To get them to all come down, because truly there you have a voice, If you wait till later, post it on Facebook, well, it doesn't count. So, all right, if there's nothing else, I will call this candidate's night completed, and we will see you all shortly. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.